Greetings to all my viewers. While you watch the following presentation of Reflections, you will realize why I decided to create this series, especially if you live in the New York area. If you look around, a lot of familiar places in history are disappearing at a rapid rate. Sooner or later, the place where you live will be completely unrecognizable. I came up with Reflections to bring awareness to the history behind various neighborhoods and to document it as a reminder. With that being said, enjoy the following episode. New York, the Big Apple. It has been my home for all of my life, filled with a rich history. In this series, we'll explore some of that history. Presenting Reflections of New York. Here's a piece of history that is right under a lot of people's noses within the heart of Manhattan. Normally when I do these features, I do an entire neighborhood. For example, neighborhoods like Brooklyn Heights or Astoria. This is the first time I'm focusing on a specific location within a neighborhood. I would like to introduce you all to Tin Pan Alley, the place where a lot of popular songs and show tunes, some still sung and played today, were born. Tin Pan Alley is located on 28th Street between 5th and 6th Avenues, split in two by Broadway. The block is not exactly in Chelsea, Koreatown, or Kips Bay. It falls right smack in the middle of these three neighborhoods, out of the way but in plain sight. Back during its prime, you can hear various songs being played at the same time on upright pianos. While walking down these streets at the time, it sounded like tin pans being banged on. Let's travel back in time to Tin Pan Alley's beginnings. Once a residential neighborhood prior to the end of the Civil War, Tin Pan Alley's origins began with the rise of the piano sheet music industry. During the 1890s, the first music publishers to move there was M. Whitmark and Sons. They were the first to distribute and mass-produce copies of their music to established performing artists of the time period. At the same time period, the name of the block was established by Monroe Rosenfeld. A journalist and songwriter himself, his ears was ringing after walking down the street while hearing pianos belling out of the windows to ground level.
To the song of the smiling.
During its heyday, Broadway Productions was the largest business for composers at Tin Pan Alley. With new productions popping up, the need for new music was high. As a result, more publishing houses began to emerge on Tin Pan Alley, contributing to its growth. It also began the growth of various songwriters as well. Songwriters such as Alvin Von Tilzer, along with Jack Norwood, who wrote Take Me Out to the Ball Game in 1908. Also in 1908, Shine on Harvest Moon was written by Noah Bayes and before mentioned Jack Norwood. Give My Regards to Broadway, written by George M. Cohan in 1904. However, one of the largest contributors to popular music during this period was Irving Berlin. At the time, he used to be a singer in the streets and also worked as a singing waiter in Chinatown. A couple of years later, he became a writer and lyricist for Watson and Snyder. While working with them, he wrote Alexander's Ragtime Band, his first of many hits in 1911, resulting in earning the nickname King of Tin Pan Alley. Other hits include What'll I Do in 1924, Putting on the Ritz in 1929, also White Christmas in the early 40s, just to name a few of his credits.
Come on and hear Alexander's Ragtime Band.
Just like with any industry, technology changes everything, including the times. Songwriting with upright pianos are not an exception. With the invention and growing popularity of the phonograph, the sale and manufacture of upright pianos, which is the bread and butter of a lot of songwriters, began to decline. In addition, the birth of rock and roll in the late 50s also became a contributing factor. As a result, publishing houses either began to close down or move out of the neighborhood. When you walk down Tin Pan Alley today, you won't be able to recognize it from what I've stated. Many of the buildings that were the lifeblood of this block are either demolished, houses other businesses that are not music related, or in neglect. There is a dedication plaque located on 28th Street and Broadway commemorating this block. If nothing is done, this plaque will probably be what's left of this New York historic gem. The current residents of Tin Pan Alley are fighting to save the block and its history from development. In conclusion, a lot of music history took place within this block. Even some songs I had taken for granted, like Take Me Out to the Ball Game and White Christmas. I never knew they were written here. Producing this video was a learning experience for me. I hope watching it was one for you as well.